Morning. You woke up, and now you have a choice. Stay in comfort or step into the cold. My body is calm. My mind is clear. I am here. I am now. I remember what I must do. I see my plan. I know the order in which everything must be done. I remember it all. I trust the process. I don't rush. I don't get distracted. I act precisely, step by step. Each action is an investment in my freedom. Every minute is a brick in my future. Time is my most valuable resource. I do not waste it. I use it with respect. Do everything precisely. Do everything on time. That is my focus. That is my mission. Nothing else matters. I work. I am fully focused. I repeat to myself, only the task, only the deadline, only the result. If I get distracted, I return. My mind is back on the goal. My energy is back in the work. I control my attention. I control myself. Completed work is my result. It is my contribution. I am in the process. I am in motion. I complete everything accurately and on time. I am in the process. I am not outside. I am inside the action, inside the moment. I do not think about the result. I take a step. Each movement like a breath. Each action like a thought. Focus is a muscle. I train it. I feel my attention returning to the center. The gathering point is here, where my hands are, where my eyes are, where my tasks are. I do not get distracted. Distraction is an illusion. It tries to tear me out of the present, but I do not allow it. Again and again, I choose the task. Just the task, just the step, just the movement. My thoughts begin to scatter. I bring them back. My focus does not wander. It obeys. I do not fight distraction. I ignore it. I do not engage in a dialogue with chaos. I act. My work is my meditation. Each action is a return to myself. I do not wait for inspiration. I do not wait for the perfect moment. I do not wait for approval. I simply act. I build my destiny with action. Each day I am stronger because I did not get distracted. I am in the process. I am not in thoughts of the past. I am not in anxiety about the future. I am here. I am in the task. Taking a step is better than thinking about 10. One paragraph, one edit, one call. I do not step aside. I do not switch. I do not let chaos control me. I choose structure. I choose action. I choose results. Focus is my tool. Focus is my freedom. When I am fully in the task, I am free. No distractions, no hesitations. Only flow, only clarity, only results. I hear noise and pass it by. I notice impulse and do not follow it. I feel fatigue and keep moving. Not emotions, but movement. Not doubt, but a step. Not chaos, but action. I do not overthink. I do. I do not evaluate. I complete. I do not persuade myself. I move. Every time I get distracted, I return. Every time I lose rhythm, I restore it. No emotion is more important than the task. No anxiety is higher than the priority. No laziness is stronger than my will. I am in the process. I control attention. I remember. Focus is power. And every time I focus, I become stronger. I cut from my reality everything that does not lead to the goal. I remove noise. I switch off the excess. I remain alone with the task. Only me in the task. Only me in the path. I do not compare. I do not doubt. I do not stop. Focus is a choice. I choose focus. Now is the moment when I secure my future. When everything is done, calm comes. When everything is completed, energy comes. When everything is accurate, power comes. Attention is power. I hold it in my hands. I do not give it away to outsiders. I do not distribute it to random thoughts. I do not devalue it with doubts. What I feel is not important. What I do is. What I complete is. What I keep focused on is. Focus is not a one-time effort. Focus is a path. I observe distractions, but I do not react. I hear thoughts, but I do not follow. I choose to stay in the task. I am here to do. I am here to complete. I am here to remain in the process. I do not simply act. I fulfill a duty to the opportunity to live, to my father, to my family, to myself. Life has been given to me, and I am obligated to get the most out of it. I have no right to scatter my energy. I have no right to waste time. My attention is my gift. My concentration is my tool. I respect labor. I respect myself. I respect my family. I respect my father. Because he worked. He did not get distracted. He held on. He stood firm. Now it's my turn. Now it's my task to fulfill my own. I am responsible for my trajectory, for my energy, for the result of my day. I have no right to neglect time, because time is finite. Hit that subscribe button and join the tribe. More power, more purpose. Every week, tap subscribe, and let's grow stronger together. Focus is not just a tool, it is energy, sharpened, concentrated, burning like a laser through resistance. Most people disperse that energy. They scatter it in distractions, conversations, scrolling, worrying. But not you. Not now. Not anymore. You understand. Diluted energy equals diluted life. You are done with dilution. You are here for precision. A serious person doesn't chase every noise. A serious person doesn't bounce between windows, tabs, apps, and excuses. A serious person holds the line, keeps the main thing the main thing. Focus is your line. Focus is your structure. Focus is your respect. For time, for purpose, for the gift of existence. The sharper your attention, the deeper your work. The deeper your work, the stronger your results. The stronger your results, the clearer your direction. And clarity is the foundation of peace. You don't ask for peace anymore. You earn it. You build it with every uninterrupted minute. You build it when you choose to return. Again and again, no matter how many times the mind tries to wander. You're not looking for perfection. You're practicing return. Because mastery is just repeated return to what matters. Your power is not in what you avoid. It's in what you return to. Your focus is not about being flawless. It's about being relentless. You are no longer tempted by the drama of interruption. You don't feed chaos with your attention. You are building gravity. Presence so dense, nothing escapes its pull. This is what great architects of reality understand. Attention is currency, and the richest minds invest it deeply in few vital things. You train your focus like an athlete trains their body. Not once, not occasionally. Daily, deliberately, because it is your edge. The ability to choose your object of attention and hold it is the rarest, purest power. It is the mark of seriousness. It is the evidence of vision. It is the discipline of those who rise above the noise. You want to rise? Anchor yourself. You want clarity? Cut everything that isn't the goal. Because the more concentrated your energy, the greater your ability to move the world. One thought, one decision, one task, done with total presence. That is how momentum begins. And when momentum compounds, you become unstoppable. You don't need 1,000 intentions. You need one, executed with such precision that nothing around it survives. The world respects focus. The world follows those who move with conviction. And conviction is impossible without clarity. And clarity is impossible without focus. You are not here to dabble. You are not here to taste everything and finish nothing. You are not here to chase novelty. You are here to complete your mission. A focused mind doesn't need hype. It doesn't need inspiration. It simply sees the next step and takes it. Then the next, and the next. You are building a structure inside yourself. Every time you hold attention, that structure grows stronger. Every time you return to task, it deepens until the noise outside is no longer stronger than the silence inside. This is what separates you. This is what shapes you. This is how real progress is born. Not in chaos, but in containment. Not in overstimulation, but in simplicity. You're not impressed by busyness. You're obsessed with precision. You don't crave activity. You crave impact. And impact only comes from depth. The deeper you go, the stronger the results. Depth is where breakthroughs live. Depth is where mastery is earned. Focus is not a skill you have. It is a condition you cultivate. It is a state you choose. And the more you choose it, the more it chooses you back. This is your ritual. You begin. You get pulled away. You return. Repeat. That's how you build the mind of a warrior. That's how you move through the world without losing yourself. Focus is not sterile. It is alive. It's the heat of intention. It's the fire of action. And when you burn clean, when you remove all excess, your results explode. Because you're not tired from switching. You're not drained from friction. You're flowing. And flow is the domain of the disciplined. No one drifts into greatness. No one accidentally masters anything. It is always the result of chosen attention. Sustained, refined, protected. Focus isn't magic. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's respect. For time. For craft. For purpose. For yourself. You show your seriousness in where you place your attention, in what you say no to, in what you refuse to dilute. You don't multitask your way to excellence. You don't scatter your way to power. You concentrate. You hold. You deliver. And when it's done, you rest fully. And when you rest, you recover fully. Because you emptied yourself fully into what mattered. That's how a serious person moves. That's how a focused mind dominates. You are not average. You don't train like them. You don't think like them. You don't spend your attention like them. Start your day right, every day. Subscribe now for your daily dose of focus, fire, and flow. Fuel your mornings. Feed your mindset. Subscribe and turn on notifications. A sound is a vibration. A glance, just a direction of the eye. A delay, just a shift in sequence. Events are neutral. Circumstances are indifferent. It is your mind that gives them color. It is your story that makes them personal. Suffering arises not from what happens, but from the meanings you attach to what happens. When something doesn't go your way, don't say, "This is bad." Say nothing. Just observe. When someone doesn't respond as you'd like, don't interpret it. Just notice. Your peace is not out there. Your power is not out there. It's in the space between stimulus and response. And that space is yours. The mature mind does not react. It returns to what matters, returns to what it can control, returns to the task. Every moment is a crossroads. One path leads outward, to blame, to judgment, to complaint. The other leads inward, to clarity, to focus, to quiet resolve. Choose the inward path. Choose the work. What you call a missed opportunity is just a bend in the river. Life doesn't owe you a straight path. It offers only current. And your task is to row. You are not here to collect outcomes. You are here to stay in motion. Attachment to results is a form of ego. It whispers, "You must win." But the process has no ego. It only asks, "Will you show up again?" The outcome is an echo. The work is the sound. Echoes come and go, but the act remains. Stop chasing validation. Stop chasing the illusion of arrival. There is no finish line. There is only now, only the task, only the hands moving, the mind sharpening, the soul still. To be focused is to be free. Not from pressure, but from noise. Silence the voices that say, "You're not there yet." Silence the panic of comparison. Silence the craving for applause. And listen only to the whisper, "This is the next step." You will be tempted, always, to step out of yourself, to dramatize, to doubt. But the path is simple. Return. Return again, and again, and again. Your focus is not a gift. It is a choice, and you must choose it in every breath. When thoughts of failure arise, don't fight them. Let them pass like clouds. You are not your thoughts. You are the sky. When fears of missing out appear, let them move like birds across your field of view. They are not you. You are the stillness that remains. Focus is concentrated energy. What you direct it toward grows. What you withhold it from withers. Scatter it across 10 things, and you'll feel pulled, drained, scattered. Aim it at one, and you burn through resistance like a laser. This is physics. This is truth. This is how great things are built. Not through bursts of inspiration, but by uninterrupted direction. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke. Marcus Aurelius, you move forward because you understand. Pain is not outside. Pain is born within you. Everything that causes suffering lives in your reaction. But reaction is a choice, and focus begins with a choice. You're not obligated to give meaning to every noise. You don't have to respond to every call from the outside world. Distractions are tests. You either react or you concentrate, and only the latter makes you stronger. Don't worry about what you can't control. Care only for what is within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. Epictetus, you bring your attention back to a point, because that point is you, not the news, not other people's opinions, not fears of the future. You, the task, the result. Everything else is noise. The world will throw anchors at you, urgent notifications, someone else's drama, the fear of missing out. But you remember, you are not their shadow, not their product, not their echo. You are the center, and when you gather your attention to a single point, you become light, burning through chaos. Things themselves touch not the soul, not in the least, nor do they bring it trouble. That comes from our judgment of them. Marcus Aurelius, you remove meaning. You stop explaining to yourself why you feel bad. You stop arguing with reality. You simply see, this is not mine. This is not part of my path. It's a distraction. And the task, it's right here, clear, waiting, ready to be completed. You choose it, again and again. Your attention is energy. And the more you compress that energy into a single point, the more powerfully it breaks through resistance. That is the strength of focus. It doesn't chase opinions. It isn't tangled in fear. It goes deep, like a needle, like a laser, like a thought in the moment. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Seneca, you execute steadily, without needing approval, without needing to be liked. You're not doing it for praise. You're doing it to finish. And that is freedom. Hit that subscribe button and join the tribe. More power, more purpose. Every week, tap subscribe. And let's grow stronger together. You return, not with reproach, not with anger, but with love. You've strayed from the path, and that's okay. Everyone does. What matters is not staying lost. What matters is returning. You don't act out of fear, not out of guilt, not out of anxiety. You move forward because you love yourself, your loved ones, your path. This is not duty. This is an act of love. When you return to your task, You are telling yourself, I matter. What I create matters. This is my contribution. This is my imprint. I am here to build. With care, with warmth, with respect for myself. Be strict with your intentions, but gentle with yourself. A principle from Stoic practice. You may fall off track. That's not a reason to destroy yourself. You are not sabotaging your power just because you made a mistake. Mistakes don't take away your worth. They're just reminders. Time to return. No drama. Just breathe. Come back. You do not act out of self-hatred. That leads nowhere. You do not move from a place of self-contempt. That gives you no energy. Only love can be a sustainable source of power. You take care of yourself when you focus, because you know distraction is pain, unfinished work is a burden, inner chaos is suffering, and so you choose focus because it brings you ease. The soul that acts in accordance with itself is calm and bright. Marcus Aurelius. You don't need to rush. You don't need to push. You can simply be with your task. Be present. Be aware. And take the step. Gently, respectfully, without violence toward yourself. Because the inner whip solves nothing. It only drives you deeper into anxiety. But you rise through kindness, through clarity, through the decision, I'm back at it. You choose yourself again. You don't abandon yourself in the moment of failure. You don't turn your back when things get messy. On the contrary, you guide yourself back with kindness, like leading a friend by the hand. You are your own friend, not an enemy, not a guard, not a judge. You are the one who says, I see you're tired. I know it's been hard, but come on, calmly, without pressure, without blame. Just come back. If you want to be loved, love yourself first. Learn to be a friend to yourself. Seneca. You're not harsh on yourself, because that doesn't work. You're not severe, because that's not productive. It's not about forcing behavior into yourself. It's about consciously choosing the better way. Focus is an act of love, not of control. You concentrate because you know. It heals you. It gives you air. It makes you stronger, clearer, lighter. It's care for your future self. When you waste time on meaningless things, you feel pain because it's betrayal. But you don't punish yourself. You learn. You say, I understand. That made me feel worse, so I choose differently. Without anger, without despair, with trust in yourself. You don't destroy yourself over mistakes because you understand. In each moment, you did the best you could. Now you simply know more. And that's beautiful. You grow because you are attentive. You improve, not because you were beaten into it, but because you chose awareness. That's the path of strength and the path of gentleness. You don't abandon yourself, even when you fall, even when everything goes wrong, because you know strength is loyalty. Loyalty to yourself, to your task, to the world. You don't miss opportunities. You pass through lessons. And that too is love, not punishing yourself for missing out. You didn't miss. You learned. Everything arrives when you're ready. Never say in your thoughts, I have failed. Say, I am learning. Epictetus. You are learning. Every time you bring your attention back. Every time you don't escape into self-punishment. Every time you don't chase proof, but simply continue. You move without resistance, because resistance is a war with yourself, and you've chosen collaboration. You are an ally to yourself. You want to become better, not through self-destruction, but through acceptance and growth. Focus is a way to express love for yourself, because it gives you form. It creates inner order. It makes your life clear, calm, strong. And you choose focus, not because you should, but because you are worth it. You're not your enemy, not your punisher, not your executioner. You're your caretaker, your guide, your support. And that gives you energy, stable, clean, alive. You don't abandon your loved ones, and you don't abandon yourself. You don't compromise your own respect. And so, again, you take the task in hand, not with screaming, not with despair, but with warmth, because this is your choice. When you act from love, you don't waste energy on doubt. When you choose focus from a place of care, you don't need motivation. It becomes natural. You are in flow because you are in alignment. Start your day right, every day. Subscribe now for your daily dose of focus, fire, and flow. Fuel your mornings. Feed your mindset. Subscribe and turn on notifications. You've made it here because you chose to return. That, in itself, is power. In a world that tries to scatter your energy in 100 directions, the act of returning to what matters, again and again, is an act of rebellion, of sovereignty, of deep inner clarity. Focus is not a trick. It's not a shortcut. It's a way of life. It is the sacred act of placing your full self, your attention, your breath, your energy into one thing at a time. Not out of obligation, not out of punishment, but out of love, out of deep respect for the life you've been given and the people you're walking this road for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. What you give attention to, you give life to. And when you give attention to noise, chaos, and fear, you give life to disorder, self-doubt, and stagnation. But when you give your attention to your task, your mission, your daily steps, you give life to order, to discipline, to calm, to fulfillment." Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. The mind, untamed, spins futures that never come, indwells in pasts that no longer exist. But when you focus, you come home. You come back to now. And now is always safe. Now is always real. When your attention returns to the task, you become untouchable. But they lose power the moment you stop feeding them your time. Your task is the anchor. Your focus is the rudder. Your attention is the wind. And your ship, it's your life. What you build with it is entirely up to you. You don't need to prove anything. Not to anyone. Not to the world. Not even to yourself. You only need to follow through. You only need to keep walking the path with presence, grace, and a willingness to return again and again when your mind wanders, when your heart feels heavy, when the world grows loud. The Stoics remind us that external events are not good or bad. They simply are. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, you stop reacting, you begin observing, and then you choose your response. Every moment is a chance to choose. Choose to return. Choose the task. Choose focus. Because the truth is, focus is love in action. It's love for your goals, for your body, for your family, for your soul. It's love for the version of you that's still becoming. To focus is to honor your potential. To be distracted is to abandon it, not in shame, not in guilt, but simply in reality. So when you stray, return. Without blame, without punishment, with gentleness, with respect. Because this is what serious people do. They return. A serious life isn't lived in giant, heroic acts. It's lived in tiny, consistent decisions. It's lived in choosing the task over the scroll, the next paragraph over the doubt, the next workout over the excuse, the next phone call over the hesitation. Every act of focus is a deposit into your future. Every act of clarity is a promise kept to your higher self. Every single time you catch yourself drifting and return to the moment, you're practicing mastery. Mastery of your attention, mastery of your mind, mastery of your energy. There is nothing more powerful. You don't need perfect conditions. The Stoics lived in exile, in chaos, in danger, and still they trained their minds to stay within their own control. You are free. The moment you realize you can always choose where to place your awareness, you are free. When your focus is fractured, your energy is scattered. But when your focus is deep, your energy is concentrated like a beam of light. Like a laser, it cuts through fear. It carves the path. One clear intention, followed by one quiet action, followed by another and another. This is how your future is forged. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's steady. It's calm. It's real. This is not a life of noise. It's a life of meaning, and meaning is built with your presence. Remember, the world outside of you has no opinion, no intention, no emotion. It simply is. It's your interpretation that causes suffering. Seneca reminded us, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. So instead of reacting, observe. Instead of judging, understand. And then return to your work again and again, because the task will always be here. It waits for you like an old friend, ready to receive you each time you come back with clear eyes and a willing heart. Nothing is ever wasted when you return. No moment lost when you reclaim it. No opportunity gone when you recommit to the path. Every breath is a reset. Every breath is a decision. Will you scatter or will you center? Will you flee or will you face? You are here to be in motion, not frenzied, but aligned, not reactive, but deliberate. The man or woman who can focus is already halfway to victory. Start your day right, every day. Subscribe now for your daily dose of focus, fire, and flow. Fuel your mornings. Feed your mindset. Subscribe and turn on notifications.